What's up guys? Today I am doing the Get to Know Me tag. I was tagged by Tiff. Thank you very much Tiff for tagging me, and hopefully today you guys will get to know a lot of random facts about me. Let's go.
What is your name?
My name is Brandon Choi. My middle name is my Chinese name.
Why were you given that name?
I asked my mom before why I was given the name Brandon. I forgot the answer, but I'm pretty sure it's something along the lines of she thought it sounded cool.
What are your nicknames?
My nicknames are B Choi, Brand C, Bok Choi. The newest one's probably Blee, which Lou started, the homie Blee. Bart calls me that now. Yeah.
When is your birth month and day?
My birth month and day is January 23rd. I usually tell people it's pretty easy to remember it because you just start counting 1, 2, 3.
How tall are you?
I am 5 feet 8 inches.
What are you allergic to?
I am allergic to shrimp. Sometimes. I still don't know what exactly gets me allergic to it, but I think it's if the shrimp is cooked in the shell, I'm allergic to it. But if it's deshelled and then cooked, I'm okay.
Do you have or have you had any body modifications?
I had 2 piercings on my ears right here when I was 18. Wore it throughout college and then took them off for a job interview and never put them back on. Wonder if they're still pierced.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
I am right-handed.
What is the story behind one of your scars?
I don't have many scars on my body. I have this tiny one. You probably can't see it. I was like probably a kid and I was cutting an orange for my mom and the knife slipped and yeah, nothing special.
Anything weird on your body?
I have a butt chin. I think that's kind of weird. I don't see many people with butt chins. I used to be pretty insecure about it, but now the older I get, I learned that only a lot of famous people have butt chins. So I'm gonna be famous one day.
What's your most favorite thing about your body?
My most favorite thing about my body is probably my abs. I've always had abs, they're weak, but I'm a skinny guy. It's pretty cool not to have a stomach, I guess. It's a blessing and take full advantage of it.
How many are in your immediate family? What is the relation to you?
I have 4 people in my immediate family, including myself. I have my sister Queenie, who's 2 years younger than me, and my mom and dad.
Who do you live with?
Currently, I live with Tommy from JustKiddingFilms, Joe from JustKiddingFilms, Ken of Poriotics, Kevin of Refugee Hustle, and Bree of Modeling.
Do you have any pets?
I have one pet. It's actually my first, I guess, real pet. I used to have fish and turtles, but my dog Ronan is my pet right now, and he's awesome. I love him. Ronan is a black German Shepherd. He's about a year and like a few months old. So he's still a puppy, but I can't wait till he gets to his adult days where he chills out.
What are your thoughts with your current living situation? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you moving soon?
I love my current living situation, even though it's a bit far from LA. The rent is a lot cheaper for the size of the house we have. We have a huge backyard for all our dogs, and all the housemates are pretty good. You know, they don't get butthurt or sensitive over everything. If somebody forgets to do dishes or something, we just go, hey, do your dishes, and yeah, we're all grown-ass people.
Are you single or taken?
I am single as of currently. I wouldn't mind having a girlfriend, but right now priority is work, so if she could understand that, then we're cool.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
No, I do not believe in love at first sight. I think that is a very dumb thing to think, because you can't love somebody before you get to know them.
Do you believe in soulmates?
I do believe in soulmates. I think once you find people that you could be comfortable with, no matter if you're talking or just complete silence, those are the kind of people that you have to keep in your life.
Do you believe in kissing on the first date?
Honestly, if the girl's down, of course I'm down. So, yeah.
Who should pay on the first date?
I think the guy should pay on the first date because it's the perfect way to ask for a second date. You just pay for just be like, let me get this one and you get me on the second date.
Who should make the first move?
I used to think guys should make the first move, but I think as society progresses, I wouldn't mind, I guess, a girl making the first move too, so it's kind of up in the air.
Do you like pursuing or being pursued?
I like pursuing because once you get that girl after she's playing hard to get or whatever, you feel like you're the man.
Have you ever been caught masturbating?
Yes, of course I've been caught masturbating. I think if you've never been caught, you're lying.
Can you share us a story of one?
Oh, I mean, it's pretty typical, under my blanket, doing my thing. Mom comes in, then she immediately walks out. That's about it. Didn't talk about it afterwards.
Do you kiss with your eyes closed?
Yes, I think kissing with your eyes open is really weird. Where are you supposed to look at? Their eyes? I don't know. I guess you can open it occasionally, but for the most part, I think it's more romantic when you do it with your eyes closed. Gives more imagination.
What would you instantly change about yourself if you could?
I would probably change my hands. I think I'm really insecure about them. They're like long, bony, and wrinkly. Yeah, I think I look like a skeleton. You can feel my knuckles like stick out like crazy. I have really, really wrinkly hands, but I guess it's my fault. I never put lotion or anything on it. I don't like my hands.
What makes you angry?
I think when people betray people, that makes me angry, like cheating or being disloyal. I think loyalty is a very overlooked attribute for people to have nowadays. I feel like a lot of people are not loyal, and it's like the in thing to be like a side chick or something. I think that's makes me angry. Nobody's loyal anymore.
What motivates you to work hard?
The thing that motivates me to work hard is proving people wrong. That's probably the number one thing I love doing in life. Nobody thought, I guess not nobody. I guess a lot of people didn't support the idea for me to pursue film, but I'm doing it anyways, and so far so good. And hopefully one day I'll have the biggest fuck you to everybody who didn't support me.
What is your favorite thing about your career?
My favorite thing about my career is being able to do what I love, but at the same time be able to pay for all my bills and my loans.
What makes you laugh the hardest?
I think the thing that makes me laugh the hardest, this might be kind of bad, is like racist stuff. Not in terms of like, serious racism, like civil rights type of shit, but more like Rush Hour, white men can't jump, that kind of stuff where interracial stuff, but it's comedy at the same time. I think that kind of comedy is hilarious.
What makes you giggle?
What makes me giggle? I feel like that's so similar to what makes you laugh. I don't giggle much. The thing that makes me giggle is probably stupid videos on Vine or like YouTube or something. Something random like lately the Drake memes that are happening. It makes me giggle a little bit when I see a funny one.
What makes you cry the easiest?
The thing that makes me cry the easiest is probably old people. Anything to do with old people, because I think it's pretty sad that the older you get as a human being, the more you're forgotten. Your kids start having kids, and then they gotta focus on their kids, and then you're just sent to like a retirement home or something and left to rot pretty much. That's pretty sad. Don't do that to your grandparents and stuff like that. They have, if anything, right now in their lives, they have the most free time in the world, so you should spend a lot of time with them.
What do you do to relax?
The things I do to relax are watching a movie, playing video games, just laying down on something comfortable. That's about it. Very typical relaxing stuff.
What are your 2 pet peeves?
2 pet peeves that I have is 1, bad drivers. I have really bad road rage. I flick people off a lot, and I yell at people, and I give them a really mean mug. They're doing something stupid. And my 2nd pet peeve is having to repeat myself. I hate doing that. It annoys the shit out of me. I hate it when others have to repeat themselves. Often if that happens, I usually just yell it out, make sure they understand it. Can't remember anything specific with my road rage, but it's when I'm in the left lane and I'm driving like 55 miles an hour behind somebody. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you in the fast lane if you're gonna drive under speed limit? It doesn't make any sense. It says speed limit 65. Damn it.
Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm a huge introvert. I love being home. I'm a homebody. I try to make my house the most comfortable place I could be at. You can ask any of my friends. It's like a mission to just ask me to go out to something social. So those stuff really drains me.
What is your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is basketball. I think I like basketball because it's fast-paced. It's pretty much soccer with your hands if you think about it. And it's a lot smaller, and the teams are smaller, so you're able to focus more. And then I think the positions are more important. You know, every team needs to have a point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. If you're missing one piece, you know, you're not gonna win.
What was the last concert you went to?
The last concert I went to was Kanye West, 808s and Heartbreaks in its entirety at the Hollywood Bowl. I wouldn't say Kanye has a special place in my heart. It's more, I think he makes awesome music, even though he gets a lot of shit for sampling. I think he's one of the few people that could take sampling and make it something not better per se, but more different, I guess. When he first came into the scene, he was a different guy. You know, he wore his pink pop collar polo shirts. He got the Jesus piece popular. You know, he's a trendsetter. I think that's why he's not your typical hip-hop artist.
What's your favorite movie?
This one's really hard. I have a lot of favorite movies, but researching after this question, I think as of right now, still probably Goodfellas. I love that movie. I think everything about it is awesome. Yeah. Anything mob or gangster related, I'm really fascinated about that world.
What's your favorite TV show or online series?
My favorite TV show as of right now is Game of Thrones. I don't think anybody comes close in terms of like production value or acting or just having a huge cast. Like every episode's a movie, but it's a TV series, so pretty crazy.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite colors, it's black and white actually. It's very simple. I like very classic things. Like I think black and white movies are awesome, especially like film noir. Yeah, very simple. I like my walls in my house white. I think it's very refreshing, I guess. I feel like a lot of colors you feel not trapped, but you just feel confused. That's how I am.
What's your favorite song?
Shoot. I think favorite songs often depends on the mood. I love anything by Frank Sinatra. I think he's one of a kind for sure. But as I was thinking about this, I think it would have to be Schoolboy Q, Blessed, because that was a song I listened to a lot and connected to when I first moved to LA. I was just by myself, and that song kind of reminds you that, you know, the situation you're in is not as bad as you think it is. And always remind yourself that you are actually blessed.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is noodle soups, any kind of noodle soup. I guess the more clear the broth, the better. The heavier it is, the more I won't like it, but I still like it, you know, beef noodle soup, pho, wonton noodle soup, list goes on, you know, roast duck noodle soup.
What's your favorite season?
My favorite season would have to be springtime, because it's not as hot and the flowers are blooming and the colors come back.
What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday is Christmas, because even though it's the coldest outside of the house, it's actually the warmest inside the house in terms of having your family together, and literally warmest because you're probably turning on your heater or a fireplace or something.
What's your favorite quote?
I'm gonna go back to Goodfellas for my favorite quote. Is the first line the first narration line is my favorite quote. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
And then it goes on to his narration, how people are schmucks for worrying about paying for bills and stuff. And I was like, that's right. Why should you have to worry about paying your bills when you could slang cigarettes and kill people?
Do you sing in the shower?
I don't sing in the shower, I rap in the shower. Yeah, I usually listen to rap music, and when I have it, I usually blast it while I'm showering, and if it's a good song and I know the words. Of course, it's my alone time, so kind of turn into a rapper for 10-15 minutes. Anything that comes on, I usually just turn on Spotify, and if it's a song that I'm feeling at that time, then I'll start, you know, rapping it.
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is probably having my kids die before I do. I think that's a pretty scary thing to experience in life.
How would your friends describe you?
Most of my friends would probably describe me as being really chill. Like my voice is very monotone. A lot of people have told me my voice is very soothing. I'm not a very outspoken guy. I'm usually pretty reserved, relaxed, and calm.
What are your hobbies?
My hobbies are working out, not just lifting, I guess. I just like doing anything physical. I jump a lot, I try to reach things. Ever since I was a kid, I just like, I guess, pushing my body to its limits.
Do you collect anything?
I collect sneakers. I used to collect a lot more, but nowadays I don't do it as often just because I have more important stuff to spend my money on. But when I do have extra money and there's a pair of shoes that I want, I'll probably pay for them. I used to collect shoes based more on hype, like, you know, like Jordan, stuff like that, shoes that he's worn in game. You know, I'll be wearing it and feel like I'm Jordan. But nowadays, I have to try on the shoe. If it's a model that I know is comfortable, I would pay for it. I think it's more for comfort now rather than...
Oh fuck, I didn't even think the camera was...
What was your first job?
My first job was a grocery bag boy at an Asian supermarket. The owners also had kids going to the same school as me, and my parents kind of talked to them a little bit, and by the time I reached 17, my mom kind of forced me into getting a job. And it was only like a few blocks from my house, so I was able to walk there and everything. Yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak, I want to say, 3 languages. Technically 2 of them I'm not too fluent in. Cantonese, I used to be very fluent in it, but once I got to college and stopped using it as often, I lost a lot. Mandarin, I took like 3 to 4 years. I lost a lot of that too, but I think I'm hopeful I'm able to keep a normal conversation with that. And I took Spanish for like 5 or 6 years. I think it's very important if you learn a language to say, I don't know, I don't speak that language in that language. So Cantonese was like, 我唔知道我唔講，我唔識講東話. And then Mandarin would be like, 對不起，我不講國語, which means sorry, I don't know how to speak Mandarin. And then Spanish is, lo siento, yo no hablo español. Sorry, I don't speak Spanish. So I think that would work in a situation somebody speaks to you and you don't understand what they're saying. At least you could let them know in their language that you don't know how to speak their language. And obviously I speak English. I think I'm pretty good at English. I wrote a lot of essays, so I could switch up pretty well. I could talk very slang heavy to very interview talk. I guess right now would be a mixture of both.
Where is the strangest place you have peed?
The strangest place I peed is in my car with a Gatorade bottle. I really needed to go, and it was on a busy street, so I couldn't pee on the streets. So I just went on to the side, unzipped my pants, opened the Gatorade bottle, and it's really warm.
What's the most embarrassing thing your parents have ever caught you doing?
Besides masturbation, my grandma caught me making out with a girl once in my room. Of course I was very embarrassed, but afterwards my grandma actually never brought it up ever again. I think that's one of those things where it's like, if you're a parent, you can't really stop it, because it's kind of like you're seeing your kid grow up. So yeah, shout outs to my grandma for not telling my mom.
If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
If I could travel anywhere in the world, I'll definitely go somewhere in Europe, because that's a destination I've been wanting to go for a while now. It could be anywhere from, actually, yeah, I'd go to London. People said the food's not that great there, but I'd go there. But definitely Italy and Spain. Those are probably the 2 spots I really want to go.
You just found out you have $1 million. What's the first thing you would buy?
If I want $1 million, the first thing I would buy is probably my parents a house, so I can get that out of the way, so I don't owe them anything anymore. Just kidding. But yeah, that's probably the first thing I'd buy for my parents. Something for my parents at least.
If you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be?
If I could do anything for a day, Probably nothing. It's absolutely nothing. That'd be awesome.
If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
If I could eat one meal for the rest of my life, it would be chicken broth, veggies, macaroni, and ham.
Would you rather ride a bike, ride a horse, or drive a car?
I would drive a car because they're faster than a horse and a bike combined.
What regular or famous person would you want to be stranded with on a deserted island?
The person I would want to be stranded with on an abandoned island is Bear Grylls or Survivor Man, because they can do everything, or they can at least teach me how to survive.
If money was not an issue, what would you do all day?
If money was not an issue, I would probably just be in a suit all day, driving in my Bugatti, going and eating very expensive stuff.
If you could go back in time, what year would you travel to?
If I could go back in time, I would travel back to probably the 30s. I know it's a bad time because of the Great Depression and everything, but I really am fascinated with the whole mob and gangster scene, and that's when organized crime actually started in America with prohibition and everything. So it'll be kind of cool to witness and experience that.
If you were ruler of your own country, what would be the first law you would introduce?
The first rule I would have for my country is for everybody to be loyal or die. They could die in many ways, whatever I'm feeling that day. Get shot, hanged, stabbed, or what's that Chinese torture thing where it's like 1,000 cuts? I think it's called 1,000 cuts by death by 1,000 cuts, where it's like every hour they cut like a small cut on your body, and eventually time goes by and you just bleed out. That sounds pretty dark.
If you could choose to stay a certain age forever, what age would it be?
The age I would stay is probably right now, 25, 26, mid-20s area, because I think that's the time when your body is at its peak. You know, you're not wrinkly yet, and you can basically push yourself, and that's also a time when you're not married and you're able to do whatever you want, kind of discover who you are. So I think this is a very important time in anybody's life.
If you were immortal for a day, what would you do?
I would probably commit a lot of crimes because I'm gonna get away with it. Probably rob a bank, jump from a skyscraper and land somewhere. Do a lot of superhero stuff. You know, fly, run through walls, have laser beams coming out of my eyes or something. That'd be pretty cool.
If you had to change your first name, what would you change it to?
I probably wouldn't change my name because I think Brandon's a pretty good sounding name, and I'm not too big on first names and stuff. I'll probably name my son Brandon Jr., so I call him BJ.
If you could meet anyone, living or dead, who would you want to meet?
As of right now, I probably want to meet Martin Scorsese. His work and my career is #1, and I think tapping into my favorite director's mind would be pretty awesome, very insightful for my future in terms of working.
If you could know the answer to any question besides what is the meaning of life, what would it be?
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop?
If you could be any fictional character, who would you choose?
I would be James Bond because he's the total package. He wears a suit, he kills people, saves millions of lives, and gets the hottest girls all at the same time. How does he do it?
Have you ever had surgery?
I've actually never had surgery. I've never even broken a bone. And I've never been stung by a bee. Closest I've ever gone broken a bone was in 2nd grade. I tried jumping for the 3rd monkey bar. I missed, and I landed like this. But it didn't break, so yeah, I never had surgery.
What is your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory would probably have to be just laying down with my grandma and watching all her Chinese dramas on either TVB or J channel. I didn't understand anything, but it was just pretty awesome spending time with her.
Where was the last place you traveled?
The last place I traveled to was Japan, Hong Kong, Macau, and China, all in one trip. I went with 3 of my cousins, and in Japan we were on our own, but once we got to Hong Kong, Macau, and China, we met up with our parents, and yeah, the trip was pretty cool. It was springtime, so the weather wasn't too hot, and we just ate a bunch of good food. It was my first time in Japan, and I absolutely fell in love with the place, and that's why we're going back for our company trip. I fell in love with Japan because I'm a really big city boy, and once I got into the heart of Tokyo and Shibuya, I immediately just felt like this euphoric feeling with all the lights, the sounds. Like we got there at like midnight, but there's still people walking around. I felt like people just got off work, and everything was very convenient there, very efficient there, and I'm all about that. I pay for convenience. I pay money for being efficient so that I have more time to focus on stuff I want to focus on. So that's why I think Japan is really cool.
What did you want to be when you were younger?
When I was younger, the very first job I wanted to be was a firefighter because I enjoy helping people, and I guess saving somebody's life is helping them pretty much to the max. And my second would be an NBA player. I think I was about 11, and then everybody called me stupid for wanting to be an NBA player, but I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. And then 8th grade came along. I tried out for the team and didn't make it. So that's when my dream shattered.
What was the first thing you learned how to cook?
The first thing I learned how to cook was rice. I don't know if you count that as cooking, but it's at least the first thing I could remember cooking. My grandma taught me you have to wash and rinse at least minimum 3 times or until the water is pretty clear. But up to you. Some people enjoy, I guess, the more starchy rice, but you have to put it until like this line on your finger. That's what my grandma taught me to measure it with. I don't know why you just don't follow the rice cooker bowl. I think it's the same thing, but I think it's cool that she taught me to use my finger.
What's the best gift you have ever been given?
The best gift I've ever been given is probably my car from my parents. I still drive it to this day. It's definitely the most expensive gift I've ever received. I definitely took it as a blessing. I still take relatively good care of my car. It's been through a lot of little dings here and there, but nothing really major. I've never skipped an oil change. I've never skipped a maintenance. Whenever there is a problem with my car, I take it to the shop. So yeah, I really take care of it, and it's a gift I definitely don't neglect. It's been through a lot in my life, and a lot of memories. Like, I would not have been able to achieve what I've achieved so far without my car. I wouldn't have been able to drive to LA. I wouldn't have been able to go to my interviews. I wouldn't have been able to take girls out. A lot of memories and growth with my car.
What is the worst gift you have ever received?
The worst gift I've ever received was when my mom went to Europe with my grandma and her friend. And I guess as a kid I was expecting her to bring me some kind of souvenir or something from Europe, but she ended up having a layover in like New Jersey or something. She got me a New Jersey shirt from the airport. And I was kind of bitter that she gave me that, and she bought my sister like jewelry and stuff from Europe, and I got a New Jersey shirt. I never wore it. I think I just threw it away or something. But yeah, I'm sorry, Mom.
Have you ever worn the same underwear for more than 2 days in a row?
Yes, I've definitely worn underwear for 2 days in a row, and if you haven't, you're lying. Unless you have a lot of underwear. But for me, I hate doing laundry. I mean, the laundry part is cool, but I think folding the clothes is just something very time consuming that I don't like doing. And the number one sign that I have to do laundry is when I run out of underwear. And that's usually when I wear my underwear 2 days in a row, when I don't have time to do laundry. Granted, I don't do it all the time. I don't want people to think I'm nasty or anything. I do my laundry on time, but if work comes in the way and I don't have time to do laundry, yeah, I'd wear my underwear twice in a row. But I do the sniff test, if it smells too nasty, then of course I won't wear it again. So there's a line that you can't cross when it comes to wearing underwear 2 days in a row.
Have you ever re-gifted something that you received as a gift?
I've never regifted something I received as a gift just because I feel like if that person ever finds out, they'll think I'm a bad person or they think I'm not a true friend. And when you do regift it out, there's always going to be a chance they find out. So when I receive a gift that I don't really have a need for, I usually just let it sit there until I have to throw it away. Sounds pretty bad, but I'm the type of person who doesn't really like giving gifts and vice versa. Because if I receive a gift, I feel obligated to give a gift to somebody. And I'm more of like, if I have your friendship, that's enough of a gift for me.
Have you ever shit in your pants?
I have shit in my pants once, and that was in elementary school. I had a stomach ache, and then I guess we were in the middle of something important. My teacher wouldn't let me go. I couldn't hold it anymore, so I ran out of the classroom, and while I was running, it all came out. I got to the bathroom, and what did I do? I immediately threw my underwear away, took a bunch of paper towels, mixed it with some soap and water, and scrubbed as much as I can my pants. But it still smelled pretty bad. But I actually went throughout the rest of the day with my shitty smelling pants. And I remember very vividly when I got into the car, I was pretty embarrassed. And my mom's like, "What's that smell?" And all I said was that I farted. And when we got home, I threw away the pants. I was pretty embarrassed.
What are you currently listening to?
I'm currently actually rediscovering Kid Cudi after he made that special appearance at the Kanye West concert I went to. A lot of his music played an important role in my life when I was entering college, I guess, that transition. And if you follow his track record, you know, his is the same way. His music kind of grew. It started with like partying music, you know, with like Day and Night and stuff like that, and stoner music. Then it went up to when he made Man on the Moon, and that was more like a coming of age kind of thing where it's like he had a lot of his songs are basically saying like they're gonna judge you, so whatever, as one of his lyrics. It taught me a lot about how you shouldn't care about what others think, just be yourself. And really related to especially the song Man on the Moon in the beginning, where it's just like, I don't care what people say about me, but I did, but now fuck it. You know, just do you. And now Kid Cudi's on another level. He grew some more. Like he's more now like, I remember watching an interview with Arsenio Hall. He talks about how hip hop should kind of go away from the bitches and killing and gangster lifestyle, because he thinks ultimately it's destroying African Americans as a culture. So it's really cool to see him grow as an artist and how I grew at the same time with his music. So I'm rediscovering that right now.
What are 5 things you do every single day?
I listen to music, try to shit. Hopefully I shit once a day. Go on my computer, I check Instagram, I walk down the stairs. Couldn't think of a 5th one.
Aside from necessities, what's one thing could you not go a day without?
I cannot go a day without listening to music. I think it's very important in my life because I have a collection of artists and stuff. So whatever I'm feeling, you know, if I'm feeling stressed, I play some soothing jazz. If I'm feeling amped up in the gym, I play some crazy hip hop or even some rock or something. And if I'm feeling stuck in traffic, I play something, I don't know what I play actually in traffic. It's anything really, but yeah, I always like listening to music. I think it calms me down a lot because I relate to a lot of songs.
How long does it take you to get ready in the morning?
Roughly about 10 minutes, maybe less depending on how rushed I am. I don't like making my morning routines long. I try to squeeze in as much sleep as I can. My morning routine usually goes, I wake up, take Ronan down, feed him, go back upstairs, go pee, brush my teeth, put on pants, shirt, hat, wallet, phone, keys, and I'm out the door.
What kitchen appliance do you use every day?
Every day I use the sink because I wash my hands, but in terms of cooking at home, I don't do that too often anymore. So I really don't have anything in the fridge, so I don't really use a stove. I guess microwave would be second because I microwave a lot of leftover foods that I by or when I go out and eat. But yeah, the sink.
What's one item you always have in your fridge?
One thing I always have in the fridge is frozen blueberries. I just buy a bunch and I eat it with my oatmeal.
What sound do you love?
I actually really love silence. I really believe in the term silence is golden. I love it. I love being around people who I feel comfortable with in silence. And I think silence is it can play both roles of happiness and sadness, I guess. Like in movies, silence can be used for both ways. Like for example, Saving Private Ryan, when he comes out of the Omaha beach and everything slow-mos and silence comes. Or it could be used on the other hand where you have like a couple in a movie or something. They're sitting next to each other doing their own thing. When there's complete silence, but you could tell they enjoy each other's company. So I think silence is a very, very soothing sound, or lack of.
Do you want children one day?
I would love to have children one day. I definitely don't want a daughter because I would have no idea how to punish her and stuff. Once she like starts dating boys, I have this big fear that I might like kick their ass or something. If I ever had a daughter, I'm just gonna leave it to my wife to take care of punishments because I don't understand where she'd be coming from, and I'm more, when it comes to punishments, I'm more of a guy, straightforward kind of guy. I can't give any emotional support when it comes to punishments. So I'll give her the support when she's sad or something. But I definitely prefer a son.
Do you want to be married one day?
I would love to be married one day, just because going back to the earlier question, I believe in soulmates, and when you find somebody that you could be comfortable with, even in silence or not, I think marriage is just a thing that ties you guys together, and it's better for taxes too. So make sure you sign a prenup.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'm hoping I'll be working hand in hand with the crew I'm working with now on our second feature film. Yeah. And I don't really care what position I'm in. I guess in 5 years, I'm hoping I'm more of like an AD or something. Something more, I guess, higher ranking in terms of the filmmaking crew. Not like PA or something like that. So yeah, I'm hoping to work on a feature film in 5 years.
What is one thing you will never do again?
I'll never eat durian again. Cause that shit's nasty, man. It looks like, it's like yellow goop. It smells like shit. The texture's disgusting. And I don't think it tastes good. A lot of people say, oh, this doesn't taste like how it smells. No, it tastes exactly how it smells. Nasty.
What's one thing you'll never stop doing?
One thing I'll never stop doing is, I think, hustling, for lack of a better term, just working on being a better person, being more successful. Because I believe that even though perfection doesn't exist, you can always strive for it, and that's the beauty of it. You'll never be satisfied by who you are, so you're gonna continue growing. Alright guys, and that's the end of my Get to Know Me tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a bunch of random things about me. The next person I want to tag is my housemate, my boss, a role model, a crazy guy, Uncle Chin, aka Joe. Also, be sure to like the video if you liked it, subscribe to our channel if you aren't already, check out all the other JK channels, and be sure to click the previous video over here.